Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. We're going to talk some Mammoth hockey with our guy Nick Olczyk coming up here momentarily. Ben, you've been to Seattle a number of times. Oh, you vacationed there.
Not long ago.
Yeah, not long ago. Pike's Market.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
A+.
Oh, I thought super overrated.
I mean, it's a tourist trap, but it's a cool, unique thing that they have that you don't really find anywhere else.
A fish market?
That fish market specifically? Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that implies one. You'll find a market like that at any
you can go
coastal
to
town.
San Francisco and find one.
Yeah. Like that?
No, I thought it was cool.
All right. He, of course, is a part of the Mammoth broadcast. He's nice enough to join us on Tuesdays, the one and only Nick Olczyk. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, boys? Jake and Ben. Hello from the Emerald City here in Seattle, and a misty, rainy morning, but hopefully a great game tonight.
As has been the case, and I think why the Mammoth are positioned as well as they are this year is even when things seem to be getting worse and falling apart, and they go, I think, 2-7-1 in a stretch and aren't looking particularly good, they go on the road against the Kings and look absolutely dominant. 6-2, played well from the opening puck drop throughout the entire game, and now it feels like they've got their momentum back.
Yeah, I think momentum this time of the year, boys, is so crucial, especially as you start to push towards the playoffs. As a team, you want to be playing your best hockey. You want to have everything firing on all cylinders. And during the year, it's kind of one big buildup. I mean, it's an 82-game grind, especially this year, even more than other years because of the condensed schedule, because of the Olympics that took place in February. But overall, for this team right now, you want to be playing your best hockey, and that's, I think, a big reason that leads to that. Well, is special teams, power play, penalty kill has been very solid lately for the Mammoth. And when you got those parts of your games that you're very confident in, that are really clicking, I think that gives you an upper hand on most nights to not. Because if you can win the special teams battle, if you can kill off a couple of penalties while staying disciplined, yes, of course, but also having the power play come through at some important moments, then all of a sudden you're going to like the way the scoreboard is looking at the end of most games. So I think this team should be feeling very confident. The teams below them in the standings, I mean, it's an absolute dogfight right now. It's almost as if nobody wants to get that second wild card spot, because just when one team wins, another couple lose and whatnot. So it's a battle, but for the Utah Mammoth, they're sitting in a heck of a spot in wild card one, and then the important part now is to keep building on the momentum that they've earned so far.
I asked a really dumb question about hockey earlier in the show, and as usual, we take our dumb questions to you because you don't make us feel dumb for asking them. Could a particular venue manipulate the ice for betterment of the team? Like if you had a slow team, could you have slushy ice? Or if like Mammoth, they're fast, right? Can you really freeze that sucker and make it fast? Do they do that? Is that a thing?
No, it's a very interesting question, though, guys, because, home ice advantage, and there are different parts of different buildings, I would say, that do differ. in terms of, some of the boards in certain arenas are a little bit more bouncy. I think back to the old days of Joe Louis Arena where the Detroit Red Wings used to play. I mean, their backboards were like trampolines where defensemen would intentionally shoot the puck wide if maybe the shooting lane was blocked by a defender. So they would shoot it wide and they would angle it off the backboards perfectly so it would bounce right to the front of the net and the goalie would have no clue, and then there'd be a player right there in the blue paint ready to bang it home. So I would say that there are some differences in terms of the arena build. But as far as the ice goes, no, that's all regulatory through the league. There are certain mandatory ways that the ice is made to try to make sure that it is an even and level playing surface no matter the arena. So not at all a dumb question because there are other parts of arenas that are a little bit different. Another example would be the partitions that keep the panes of glass together. In some arenas, those are a little bit more pronounced. So if a player is entering the zone and they shoot the puck around the glass, they put it up around the glass to try to send it around the net. Sometimes they'll aim for a specific stanchion, and then it can kick off of that and boot right to the middle of the ice. And then all of a sudden the goalie is anticipating to go stop the puck behind his net, and then he's caught dead to rights there with the puck kind of deflecting out into the middle, and who knows, maybe you can run and play that way. So there are differences, but in terms of the ice, no, that is very strictly watched for all 32 arenas to make sure that for the safety of the players first and foremost, that the sheet of ice that they're playing on is the same no matter where they're at. And there are, of course, two different challenges in different places in different markets. For example, down in Florida with the crazy humidity, ice might be a little bit more choppy, might be a little bit more slow with the humidity getting into the building, eating into the ice, as opposed to maybe a little bit more of a colder and a dry place like Utah. So there are differences, but when it comes to the ice, for the safety of the players, the league is very tight in making sure that those regulations are followed.
Mammoth are sitting at 82 points. The Kings are now in the second wild card spot at 78 after getting a win last night. San Jose's at 77, Nashville's at 77, Winnipeg's at 76. Who's the most dangerous team, you think, on the heels of the Mammoth?
Well, it's hard to argue against the LA Kings, and not just because of where they're currently sitting in that second wild card spot, as you had mentioned, but I think another team to really keep an eye on is the Winnipeg Jets. And it was not too long ago that the Jets were 11 points from being out of a playoff spot. Right now, they're 2 out, and they've got an unbelievable tiebreaker in terms of regulation wins. So if at the end of the year, 2 teams have the same amount of points, whichever team has won in regulation in 3 periods, that's going to be the team that gets the higher seed or that makes the playoffs. And the Winnipeg Jets right now have 25 of those regulation wins. The team just ahead of them 2 spots out in Nashville, they got 25 as well. San Jose had an unbelievable comeback win last night against the Anaheim Ducks. They're just a 1 point out from LA. So you've got a lot of teams here. And then, of course, the Seattle Kraken, who the Mammoth are playing tonight, they're 3 points out, and they've also got 25 regulation wins. So in terms of they're in a heck of a spot, but that Winnipeg Jets team, man, when they get rolling, and it has been very much a volatile season for them this year, when they get rolling, they've got Connor Hellebuck, who we all saw what he can do when the lights are the brightest at the Olympic Games, helping Team USA to a gold medal. Mark Scheifele, Josh Morrissey on the back end, and Kyle Connor, one of the better snipers in the league. That to me, I think is a team that I would sit there and say on the outside looking in, that's a team that's got a great shot. But the LA Kings, they're always a tough out because of how well and how hard they defend, especially under their newer head coach, DJ Smith, after Jim Hiller was fired. But I'm keeping my eyes locked on the Winnipeg Jets because, that's a team that has had to battle and has had to play playoff hockey here for the last couple of weeks to ensure that at least they give themselves the best chance to get in.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, Give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Is it common, or do you expect any changes to the lineup down the stretch? Do teams mess with lines and that sort of thing at this point in the season?
That's one thing that Andre Tourigny has never been shy about doing, is changing the lines when things are not working. You go a game or two where you don't generate anything and everybody just looks a little bit stale. Okay, that's a cause to change the lineup and to try to look for a spark. When the team kind of hockey rule of thumb is barring injury, you're going to roll with the same lineup and to keep things as similar and keep things as in as good a cohesion as you can amongst the lines, amongst the deep pairings. So this time of the year, unless it's offensively challenging for the squad, you're looking at the same lineup from game to game, barring, of course, injury, and then you got to try to find a way to make a change that works and bring in a guy that can fill a role. It may not be the same role, but fill a role that you're looking for to try and give your team and yourself the best chance to win. But we're watching the Seattle Kraken at their morning skate right now. I'm sure we'll keep everybody abreast of what goes on at Utah's morning skate, and always watching who's going with who at the start of the day, so it can help us with our planning and prepping purposes. But it's this time of the year, guys, everybody's playing hurt. Everybody's playing less than 100%, and so it's very much a battle of attrition out there.
Nick, I do think it's promising that over the last two games, even though it includes a loss to Washington, though they started out well, and then, of course, what we saw against the Kings is that we're seeing a lot from Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley. Like, I think I had thought that, the veterans are going to have to carry them across the finish line, and it seems like the young players are stepping up in the biggest games.
No doubt, and I think they're learning a lot from some of the veterans that the Utah Mammoth have. When you look at the veterans, the guys that have been around a long time, the Ian Coles, Mikhail Sergachev. I mean, he hasn't spent 15 years in the league, but he knows what it takes to win with his 2 Stanley Cups with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think those are the guys that you got to rely on. Other players that maybe haven't played years worth of games in the playoffs, but a guy like an Alexander Kerfoot who's been around the block a couple hundred times, and guys that know how to play in these pressure games. And it's not always the take a guy aside, put your arm around him, and describe exactly what you got to eat that day for a pregame meal. I think it's just, when you go through the inevitable adversity throughout a game, throughout a season, throughout a playoff series, just to look to the left and the right on the bench and know that you've got guys that are sitting there calm and they're not overthinking, they're not getting all emotional, they're just riding the wave of being as even keel as they can. I think that really does go a long way. And when you have the skill set that the likes of Cooley and Guenther have, well, you're already steps ahead of most other guys. And, you think about some of the big moments that those two in particular have had this season. Game-winning goals, huge plays, not just offensively, but defensively as well to help the team win. This team, the Utah Mammoth, they're set up to win for a long time. Not just because these players chose to sign long-term deals, but the culture that is being built and a willingness and a want to play in the game and the season's biggest moments. I think that counts for a lot. And so no matter how this run goes, no matter how it ends, all I know right now, boys, is that everybody on this roster, especially these young guys, are going to learn a lot about themselves, a lot about the team, and a lot about what it takes to be at your very best game in and game out this time of the year through this run, no matter how it goes. And of course, we're all hoping that it ends in a playoff berth. And I think that will go a long way for this Mammoth team and some of those younger players that are going to be studs in the entire league for a long time to come.
You're a member of the broadcast. We're the flagship station. Are we all contractually obligated to grow a playoff beard? Is that a thing? Do we have to do that?
Obligated, no. But last I checked, I've been growing and grooming my playoff beard for the last 2.5 years of my life, boys. So I will keep mine going. But if you want, I would highly suggest that a playoff beard should be in both of your futures.
Well, now you have to grow it out. You can't trim it up, right? Isn't that the rule?
But I want to keep it groomed. That's the part where I struggle. That's the part I struggle with with just letting it get all out of control. But we'll see.
What's more important, Nick, your vanity or playoff victories, man? I mean,
playoff success, no question, no question. So I'm going to give it some thought.
Okay.
You may have persuaded me a little bit, but let's just get there first. The Mammoth are in a heck of a spot, so let's get there first and then make our grooming decisions after that.
All right, fair enough. I'm not a beard grower, so there's some prep that needs to go into that for me. I need like a week's head start.
I got some beard oil I can lend you if you want.
How's your beard game, Ben? You're cleanly shaven.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian's got strong beard game.
Yeah,
he could make it happen. Nick, we appreciate you and thank you as always for coming on. Enjoy the game tonight.
Anytime, boys. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk to you soon.
Back at you, Nick.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.